Hey, look at that. We're live. We're live. It's
Crazy.
Thursday, 9 o'clock on the East Coast. That means it's time for This Week in Gear Report, the show where we talk about everything that we've published since the show last week, which was not really the same show we normally have last week. That was a little weird how that worked out because we were busy. Just a
We
little
were.
bit. All right. We'll make the rounds real quick, see who has checked it in. Flying Rich. Jeff, I can't believe I did not make the thumbnail. Well, guess what? We're going to talk about that thumbnail in just a few moments. We are going to talk about it. It's not what you think, TJ.
I know.
It's not what you think at all.
I know.
You know what? Let's talk about it now.
Right off the bat.
Actually, I don't know where a copy of it is I can get to quickly and easily. We'll come back to it once I find it, because I want to bring it up on the screen, because I'm actually rather proud of that thumbnail. But I'll give you a spoiler alert. Rich could have been a part of the thumbnail if he happened to be there when we took it. He just wasn't there at that time, and that's why he was not a part of the thumbnail image. Yeah, I'm just as shocked as you are. Yeah, that wasn't completely true. I knew why. It's because he wasn't there. What's that groomer in the blue sweatshirt on the Goomer? Yeah. Yeah, somehow Gary snuck into the infamous thumbnail. Gary snuck into it. Yeah. All right. Well. I think that is one of the more appropriate greetings to start the show that I've seen. Yeah. Although this is another fairly appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give him that.
He's learning. You know, Rod would say, howdy, gentlemen, or something. I was like, well, you're not going to talk to us?
Yeah.
But he's figured it out. It only takes a few shows for people to figure out how to do things here. Ghost is partway with us, it looks like.
I'm here. What's up?
Yeah.
How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling a lot better. Yeah, finally. I still got the congestion, but I feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I got my voice back and my taste back. More importantly, the taste came back today, so that was nice.
There you go.
Interesting. So we should probably do introductions real quick. I'm Jeff. Hi.
TJ.
I'm Ron Jeremy. Nice to meet you.
He's famous, if you guys didn't know. You
Over
young
on
kid.
Pornhub. Yeah, I'm all about it.
Infamous. Yeah. Well, it's funny, you mentioned Pornhub. More than one discussion that we had during SHOT Show with brands, just organically as part of the discussion, OnlyFans came up.
Yes.
It was several.
I heard that several times as well, and it's kind of, I don't know, weird / intriguing / what?
Yeah, it was disturbing but entertaining at the same time, kind of like this show. So, anyhow, this week Gear Report. We you know what? I got to put this up. Hold on, I got to find it now. I spoke too soon. I got the wrong banners at the top here. There we go.
There we go.
This week Gear Report sponsored by Right On Optics. Fun story. Would you like to tell the story, TJ, or shall I?
You tell it. You were more shocked than me.
Oh, it was. I don't want to say it was a blow to the system. It did explain some things, right? Oh wow. The show has been sponsored for almost a year, like 11 months, by Right On Optics, and Tony was in charge of marketing when that sponsorship agreement was inked, right? So we go by the booth. I'm like, hey, where's Tony? I don't see Tony. Oh, yeah, Tony's not here anymore. So really? Okay, well, who's in charge of marketing now? Well, it's Emily. And we start talking a little bit, and I say, hey, by the way, thanks for sponsoring This Week at Gear Report. Every week, This Week at Gear Report sponsored by Right On Optics. And she says, wait, what? We do what? And I was like,
interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I need to change the ticker. We're not 8 p.m. Eastern now. We're 9 p.m. Eastern. Sorry, that was another squirrel moment.
Well, I'm assuming that then you're still running the Riton optics, that Emily figured it out and was okay, or what?
I mean, we agreed to that they sponsored for 12 months, and that 12 months is not elapsed.
There you go.
Yet.
There you go.
So whether they want to renew and continue to sponsor or not really isn't relevant. I mean, she didn't say, "Oh my God, you guys, no, we're not doing it anymore. Just take it down." She didn't say anything like that. It was more like, yet another thing that I'm unaware of that Tony did before he left is pretty much the way it came across, I think. So
interesting. That happened a lot, as a matter of fact. I don't know with you guys, but it's been since 2020 since we've seen some of these companies in actual face-to-face. And I was working with so-and-so. Yeah, he hasn't been here for about a year now. It's like, oh, that's why I haven't heard back from him. Thanks. Appreciate it.
It happens a lot. I mean, I've been doing this a few times, and it's like, what about? Oh no, he's not willing. He'll moved over somewhere else, and then they moved over somewhere else, and you're always like, okay.
So how about we range day? We get to the Franklin Armory Bay, and we're asking him about the binary trigger stuff, and said, "Hey, so what's the process for getting T&E stuff now? Do we still talk to Sun?" And I can see Sun standing 7.5 feet away in this same shooting bay. And the guy looks at me and says, "No, he's not here anymore." I said, "He's right there. Hey, Sun."
He's literally right there. Yeah.
Right. Well, come to find out, Sun is now the CEO of Bushmaster, and they were sharing the bay with Franklin Armory. So,
well, they bought the Bushmaster brand, I guess, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
I think they did in that Remington sale. I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I know they bought it from Remington. They got intellectual property only, is basically what
he said. Oh, okay.
And
okay, I got you.
Shop in, was it Carson City, Nevada, something like that. So, which is likely, in conjunction with Franklin Armory. I don't know. I don't want to say something and have it turn out to be wrong. We're going to have Sun on the show in the coming weeks at some point. And he will explain all of that. But that was probably the most striking one to me. Like, well, no, I'm not the head of marketing at Franklin anymore. I'm the CEO of Bushmaster. And I'm like, really? When did this happen? He's like, oh, about a year ago.
Yeah. So I was at a booth, and I won't mention names. And you might know who I'm talking about, but I've been waiting for a gun for over a year now from a specific company. And been talking to this girl who they had outsourced their media, their marketing campaign. And I was talking with her, and then she went like silent a few months ago. So I was like, well, I guess it's not happening. I don't know really what's going on. So I went to the company and I was like, hey, I have for some reason so-and-so went radio silent on me. Oh yeah, we got rid of them about 4 or 5 months ago. And I was like, oh. Well, that would explain why she went radio silent. And he goes, well, what were you supposed to be getting? I told him, oh, yeah, we'll get that to you. And it's like, how long have you been waiting? Oh, about a year. Really? We never heard anything from her about it. I was like, really? So I was like, fantastic. Nice. Thanks for, I'm glad I stopped by the booth,
Yeah. I am interested to hear who that was, because that's not an uncommon thing. I think especially in the age of I was going to say Omicron. That's what we're in now, right? In the age of
it's in the private chat.
Yeah, I saw it pop up over there. In the age of the Rona, we've got to expect people moving around and doing weird things a little bit more. I suppose. But yeah, the couple years in between seeing people, it surprised me. There were a few people that I was like, I recognize that person. I swear they weren't with this brand before.
Right.
Like, am I losing it here? All right.
Well, that also happens in our industry a lot, because it's a relatively small industry as far as the people that are running these specific titles and jobs, which is a good thing sometimes. If you have a good relationship with so-and-so and he's at XYZ company, 2 years from now, he could make it big in Glock or Smith and Wesson. Now you've got an in at this other company. So they do switch around companies quite frequently, which could be a good thing.
Oh my! Everyone's testing positive. So you said Big Tony tested positive, right? Right after the shot.
Big Tony's got it. Rogue has it. Armenthia's got it. I have it. I'm assuming Clover does, although he's not going to go get tested. But
I feel fantastic.
I felt fine until Monday, and I woke up Monday morning and I didn't have a voice. And the congestion got worse and worse and worse. And by Monday at lunch, my wife brought home one of those tests, and she's like, "Take this test." And it's just like, it'll take 15 minutes. I think mine was there in like 20 seconds. It was like blaring at you, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I got it."
Yeah. The I had it a couple weeks, 2 weeks or so before the show, and I think TJ had it a similar timing. So I was like, heck, that's perfect. Get it out of the way so that we can go and not have to worry about it.
Right.
Because everyone gets sick at SHOT Show anyway. With the Rona going around in general, everyone was going to get it because
absolutely,
even if people wore the mask, they're not effective. But then especially the Omicron variant, and there's a doctor I watch every day who gives data from around the world on how things are going. Apparently there's a new Omicron variant that's twice as transmissible as the other one, which means like everyone was already going to get it. Now everyone's going to get it even faster. So you can't get away from it. So I had it for like gets through 2 days. It smoothly. What's that?
I had it for like 2 days. Like I felt bad. And then the next day I felt a little worse. Fever broke. Next day, back to work. I felt fantastic.
Yeah. See, I never had a fever. I mean, I think she took my temperature once. It was like 99 something. And like half an hour later, it was back to normal. I never really had a fever. And I've never really felt like the flu, like weakness. I've just had really bad sinus congestion is all I've had really.
Yeah.
And lost my taste.
Yeah. I had a headache for like 3 days. I think I had the flu and then got the Rona. So it kind of
that makes sense. Yeah.
Because I had it, was about over it, and then got hit again, and then I tested positive. So I'm assuming it was like the flu, because they're saying this new strain only lasts a couple days, and I had it for like 2 weeks. So I think it was one to the other. Holy smokes! Let me catch up in here. In the comment, basically, I have a head cold. Well, that's good to hear.
That's basically what mine is. Yeah.
I didn't miss TJ last week. What in the world?
Denial.
That's just mean. That's just mean.
Denial.
Why do people have to be hurtful?
I don't know.
All right. This is what I was celebrating. Let me get that so you can see my celebration here. Hadn't seen Honcho Fett in a while. Some bad news on the family front for him recently. So, hope things are going a little bit better. I lost someone special to him. So sorry to hear that. Happy to see you back here. Maybe we can keep you busy so you don't have to worry about that kind of thing. Oh, look at that. Hey, Honcho.
Well, you'll say hi to him.
The flu Rona. Yeah, that's what I had. The flu Rona, pretty much. That's how mine started. Man, people are really just churning through. I can't keep up with all the comments here. I love Ghost, though. What in the world?
Okay, so she does have good taste. Well, you're in my good graces. Thank you, darling.
The fever's warped her mind.
Enjoyed everyone's SHOT Show coverage.
Hey, I'll take whatever I can get at this point.
I wanted to, I'm going to interrupt you guys to say thank you, Ghost. Thank you, TJ. Thank you to all the other folks who have put some cool videos out there and other SHOT Show coverage. I also have enjoyed it. Not just Honcho.
I enjoyed being there last week. I enjoy SHOT Show. I love SHOT Show. So, but last week was incredibly enjoyable just because you actually had to get conversations, and there wasn't you didn't have to have your 2-minute elevator speech.
Yes.
All the way down. It was wonderful.
Wasn't that like one of the greatest things that instead of having a very brief, just opportunity to do just a quick elevator pitch, we actually were able to just have a conversation and see where it went.
Yeah, there were times, I'm sure you guys are the same way. There were times we had 30, 45-minute talks, and by the end of it, we're talking about where our kids went to school and all this, and you're like, okay, so we've moved past the initial introduction. Apparently, we're talking about family stuff, and and I'll say this: I hope NSSF takes note, and I know that they did it because there were companies that didn't show up, but what they decided to do with some of those companies was put couches and tables and chairs in some of these open booths. I hope that they think about just taking random booths every now and then and just putting tables and chairs or couches there, because I thought that was a heck of an idea for people to sit down and actually do some work together.
Indeed. I'm just having fun playing with the layout.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I forget what the buttons do sometimes. So,
AJ's here, but where's the social media coordinator? She was working her tail off last week.
She couldn't make it. She has letters training, which is a school training program she's required to do every year.
Well, I guess we'll take you. I mean, it would be much nicer to see her, but hey,
have.
AJ, how you doing?
See, there's another good idea. I think that like you said, the couches, the blank space with some stuff for people. I saw some tall tables with like bar stools. I saw tall tables without bar stools, so you could stand at them easily. And I saw couches and end tables and all kind of stuff. But massage tables, I don't know. I mean, it's Vegas, so massage.
That'd be kind of weird. Like, with certain people we know, hey, you want to go have a meeting? Yeah, let's get a massage while we're doing this. I'm not so sure that would be the place to do it, but sure. I mean, I guess it's Vegas, right? Do a massage while you're having business.
We already talked about the numerous OnlyFans references throughout the show.
That's true. So. That's true. That's right. Okay.
Hi, AJ. Tell Jessica I said hi. And that is from everyone's favorite nurse, Miss Armentia at That Guy's Wife Meeting.
And she probably speaks for everyone that met Jessica last week.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll say hi to AJ, but we really want to see hi, Jessica.
Yeah.
I'll let her know.
You probably get that a lot, though, don't you?
Wow, that was mean, Ghost.
Hey,
The truth hurts sometimes. I understand.
I think we're all on that. I think we're all on that boat,
Well, I think every guy's goal is to marry up, right? So,
I definitely outkick my coverage. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. All right. So, but to that discussion, Jessica was in the media room, taking care of posting things on the Ghost. On the Ghost? What? No, she wasn't.
I wish she was. That'd been awesome. I would have paid her for that.
Record number of PSA. What was the record number of PSA stickers? I don't know, actually. I don't really do stickers. I got a couple patches. I'll go through I may, if we have time, pull some stuff out of the swag bag later.
PSA missed out on an opportunity this last week. They're talking about how much they got burned last year on all the 2021 SHOT Show patches they had to basically just get rid of. Yeah. Why didn't they bring them? They should have brought them, and that would have been awesome.
Collector's items.
Yep.
So it was married down. Jeez, snob. Man. Oh, my. So if we ever get called to testify in divorce court, we'll be like, no, Your Honor, I really don't have any evidence that their marriage was dysfunctional.
Right.
Of course, it's not likely I'll be called to Oklahoma for snobs court date. Anyhow, I'm getting way off track. Let's talk about our schedule here. We skipped right ahead to shit shooting. I would like to quickly blast through the numerous articles that we have had published.
So many.
Oh, we did? Yeah, actually quite a few. And then so that's articles have been published. We'll do that real quick. We'll talk briefly about some things that are on the horizon, and then we'll get right back to shit shooting, because that's really why people come here, I think.
Yeah.
If I had to speculate. let's see. Do we want to? I got to see which tab I want to bring up. 30 Days of Banjo, Day 3. Would anyone like to see that? No.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
30 Days of Banjo. It's an instructional series. Yeah, that is literally one of the tabs that is up on my computer.
That's the only one you can play.
It has to be, right? That's like the most famous. That's the most famous one, isn't it?
No, I mean not that song. I mean just that 30 Days of Banjo is literally a YouTube. It's the window right beside this one for. Oh, hold on, which one? I'm on the wrong one. For the new PSA Dagger. This one got published just a little while ago. So this has 4 daggers. You see. No, 3 daggers. The one that's kind of off screen is the compact that they already had, and then the full size and the micro. The full size has the threaded barrel in this picture. The micro has the weapon light, and both of them have the optics cut on the slide, and then up above it, the Rock 57 PSA's 57. What is it? FM 57 pistol. That was I didn't know that one was coming. I probably should have, but I forgot.
I think it's a good idea on their part. I mean, jumping
absolutely.
into the 5.7 market now is an excellent choice.
I'm excited about that one. I don't know about you guys. TJ has got a Diamondback, the DB57, that is amazing.
Yes, I'm trying to get my hands on one.
Man, I love that thing. That'll tell you how much I respect TJ, that when that opportunity came up, I didn't say, me. I said, no, TJ can have it. That's good. He did a good review on it, too. You should go check that out. You can find it on Gear Report, by the way. So with this one, we've got the compact, the full size, the micro, the Rock 57. We got a few little details on them here in the article. But then we've got a video there where Josiah walks us through some details on all of them. So I highly encourage you, go check that out. We've even got some additional pictures down there if you like gun porn. Nothing that you would see on OnlyFans here. This is all just gun porn, not regular.
You could probably do an OnlyFans with guns.
Yeah, people tried that, and didn't they shut them down? Weren't they like, yeah, no, thank you. We don't want, that's not wholesome enough for us, or some shit like that. I was not pleased about that. All right, people laughing at Gary. That's always fun. Yeah, I think that Snob has made it pretty clear that Mystic married Dale, not him. Yeah. Nice pick of Josiah in the article. I hope that was serious. Yes, that's good. Finally, Rich was here earlier with a comment. Neglected to throw the appropriate number of yos out there. Oh, now Rich knows who Jeff is. I see how this works. All right. So the backstory here.
I was going to say, is there a backstory here? Because I'm missing something.
Yeah. Rich sat beside me at breakfast one morning at SHOT Show. And,
yeah, he said there's a couple mornings, didn't he?
I think it was, I remember one specifically that he literally sat right beside me. And we talked a little bit. And he was talking to TJ about coming on the show with him. And I was like, all right, that's awesome. And then afterwards, someone, it's called Gorn, gun porn. Got it. So anyhow, come to find out, I think Rich was confused as to, he didn't know who he was sitting beside, which was a... Oh,
he didn't know he was sitting next to Darth Jeff?
It was a blow to my massive, yet fragile ego. So, yeah. So anyhow, now you know. So we're in good shape there. The Gorn was a big loser from Star Trek. I think that may be correct. 2 mornings. Well, that makes it worse. Or does it? Fortunately, I don't really care.
Yeah, just like,
I was thrilled to see TJ go on the show, although I didn't watch it because what was I doing? Oh, I was sitting in a parking lot at outside of a swimming pool waiting for my daughter to get
No,
home
let's
from
be
Texas.
honest. You
And of
were
course,
sulking that you weren't invited.
I had no reliable internet, so I couldn't have participated or listened or anything. Anyway, let's see. Let's work backwards here. We'll go. So we did range. No, we didn't do range day. We did the other. We did the PSA article. Now we have Friday. SHOT Show. So what we have here, I'll just touch on each of these. I'm not going to spend much time at all on them. What we did is each day, TJ and I and AJ, we all went around, we took pictures and videos and did fun stuff all day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, when the SHOT Show floor was open. At the end of the day, we would upload the pictures and create basically just a photo recap. So if someone couldn't make it a SHOT Show, they could go in and scroll through and see all the cool stuff or some of the coolest stuff that we ran across at SHOT Show. So there's probably a story here with Black Rambo.
That was funny.
I'll come back to that because I enjoyed that interaction more than I should, I think. So anyhow, there's Jessica, the social media director, with AJ at the Circle Bar, I think. Pretty sure that's where we were. We spent a couple nights at the Circle Bar, which was a new one for me. I'd never done that because I'm not a big drinker. So anyhow, you can scroll through and look at all the pictures. There are tons of cool pictures in here and lots of fun stuff. So you get an idea if you're curious who we talked to and what we did during SHOT Show. You can see day by day because we took pictures of pretty much everything we did. If you really like the pictures, they're probably TJ's. If they're kind of a little underexposed and not the greatest, they're probably mine. So let's see here. I need to go back to StreamYard. That was Friday. And then we'll go to, I don't think we talked about, you know what, we're gonna break things up a little bit here. I don't think we talked about this actual review before the show. Like this was available to talk about. We got busy talking about
actual review.
I don't think we talked about it. Caleb published a couple weeks ago the Diamondback DB15 N65 Grendel, which is a caliber that I have probably shot at an event a few times, but I've never actually had one, never actually shot it. When I look at the loading tables and the ballistics tables, that round looks really interesting to me, like for a hunting rifle. Caleb is the hunting editor at Gear-Report. That's why he got this to review. He gave it a 3.5 out of 5. If you want to know why, you're going to have to go read the article. He went pretty in depth here to tell us all about how that rifle was set up, how he used it, what kind of results he got, and why he gave it the rating that he did. I can tell you a little bit of a spoiler. He didn't have any major issues. He had one little thing that he didn't like about a little bit sharp edges on one part of the rail. Everything else he pretty much liked. But anyhow, go check it out if you're into that. I know I found it interesting editing because that's a caliber that I have not, or a cartridge rather, that I have not spent any meaningful time with, but I have found it interesting. All right. So let's look at another one here. All right, we'll change it up again. We will talk about and actually, AJ, I want you to talk about this one, the American International Motorcycle Expo.
That was a pretty awesome event. I was surprised by how large it was considering the map, yet at the same time, compared to SHOT Show, it was a smaller event. They did have some pretty awesome motorcycles there. For big brands, Suzuki was there, weren't they? Were there any other ones?
I think that was the only major You know, like you think Suzuki, Honda, Yamaha, Kawasaki, Harley Davidson, you know, Suzuki's the only one I saw there of the
Is
bigger
Indian
brands.
still around? 'Cause I used to love looking at Indian
Yeah.
bikes. I don't know if they're still viable or not.
They're still
I was
around.
looking I was looking at buying an Indian last year. They're still around. They're doing some pretty nice bikes, actually.
So if anyone is interested in motorcycles at all, I took pictures of almost every single booth there. Most of the motorcycles that were there, like AJ said, it was not a big show by SHOT Show standards. It was like probably the size of two of the little law enforcement rooms. It wouldn't.
Oh wow, really?
It was a quarter of the size of the dungeon, if that, or
That's
maybe
crazy.
about the size of one of the bigger rooms over in Caesars this year, like the one where Global Ordnance was. It was about
And
that
that's like the whole show?
whole show.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
surprising.
Yeah, and it was nice. I mean, you can see with these pictures some super cool stuff there. And odd as it seems, you know, I've never done anything in the motorcycle market with Gear Report. I've got a travel vlogger that has worked with Gear Report a little bit. Mainly, I just sponsor him. He does something called Epic Ride every year where he goes somewhere. He leaves out of North Carolina. He may be on the road 20 or 30 days or more. He may make it to Canada and visit family in Mexico and all points in between. He just goes everywhere, does some amazingly cool trips. And Gear Report has supplied some of the camping gear that he uses on those trips. And he's done a little bit of content with us. So I just went around basically looking for stuff that either crossed over to the Humvee market or that we could set up Marty with for his epic rides. And Signalmatic, I think, wants to send him a magnetic sensor so that often, especially aluminum frame motorcycles, don't trip the sensor for stoplights. So you pull up to a red light, you can sit there for an hour if no one comes along, or you decide to run the red light. So this, you flip a little switch, it'll trip it.
I've never ran a red light. How could you say that, Jeff?
I know. I had bikes for 10, 15 years. Never ran a red light. But I hear that some people
What's a red light?
have had to do that. So we saw a bunch of neat stuff, some interesting crossover stuff, hearing protection that looked an awful lot like Decibels, but it's a different brand, and it's aimed at the motorcycle market with the filters in them.
Did you post a picture of the blinker fluid?
It's probably in here somewhere. Yeah.
Did you say the blinker fluid?
Blinker
Yeah.
fluid.
Yeah, for your
Okay.
There it is. Bunch of race bikes.
there it is, your blinker fluid.
Yeah. Yeah. We joke about it, especially in the military vehicle space. But there it was. So lots of really cool stuff there. I thought the coolest thing, some of these different luggage people were kind of excited to work with Marty and get some stuff on his bike for Epic Ride. This Griffin was talking about setting him up with some rain gear or some kind of armored riding clothing, so if you hit the ground, it doesn't take skin off, that kind of stuff. The Nelson Rig gear was pretty excited to do some work with him, maybe with AJ and I for some Humvee stuff or sailing stuff as well. I was trying to hook Marty up with this Twisted Road. It's like an Airbnb for motorcycles. So if you have a motorcycle endorsement on your license, you can take some riding tests so that you get classified in their system, and then you're eligible to rent anything that meets your classification. And I was thinking of setting Marty up with that. I got to thinking about it when I got home. I was like, crap, I may just see if I can do it. Get one of their bikes, go for a ride for some weekend, and do a video on it or something. I thought that's
a great idea.
Yeah. Or maybe you want to do it. I don't know. But yeah, so anyhow, lots of pictures in there, lots of cool stuff. Probably the other thing that kind of excited me is a picture of a Suzuki V-Strom here. That's what my friend Marty rides. And I talked to him about getting some of their accessories to bolt onto his bike. And the guy said, well, what we normally do is we just do loaner bikes for that kind of thing. So I'm texting Marty saying, hey, how would you feel instead of taking your bike, like picking up a brand new one from Suzuki and riding it for a few months? And he's like, are you kidding me? So I don't know if it'll pan out or not, but I thought that was a really interesting opportunity. I got to follow up.
See, that's more my speed right there. That's much more my speed.
Yeah,
I was surprised how many electric bikes there were at both shows, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see AJ looking at a foam gun rack to put on the center console. They have it for a side-by-side, but obviously AJ's thinking more put it in the middle of the Humvee. So maybe that'll happen. I hope that they follow up with that. Okay, this picture on the right is what do you think that is? All right, and I'll tell you, it really highlights how spoiled we are going to SHOT Show when you realize what that room is.
Is that the media room?
That's the media room. You know what it had in
Wow.
it for resources in the media room? It had one or two tables and a couple chairs, and a little piece of paper that said media room. That was it. And I was
That's
like, oh
funny.
my goodness.
So you're saying I shouldn't complain about not having water during the day at the media room at SHOT Show?
Well, I'm not saying that.
No, you should still complain about that.
You should be able to complain about that, especially no coffee, because that one really bugged me. Anyhow, you see here my buddy Reese. I went backpacking with Reese this past summer. We did over 100. I think the one of our guys had his Apple Watch, so we did like 140 something miles over the course of 12 days through the mountains into Mexico. Had a blast. And then we got back and he had to have a hip replacement. So, but he was wandering around the show there. So we kind of hung out for a few minutes. That was a neat experience. So tell me, I enjoyed it. I thought it was neat. It sounds like AJ thought it was fun too. If you had a brand that paid for SHOT Show and you found out that they had sent media to a different show during SHOT Show, would you be like, what the hell, SHOT Show? Come on. Because that's what I was thinking.
Like, you're saying if XYZ company was paying me to go somewhere besides SHOT Show?
No, I'm saying if you were one of the brands that paid to have a booth at SHOT Show, and
I got you.
Found out that SHOT Show had arranged for some of the SHOT Show media to go to the AIM Expo, because that's what happened.
Right.
I'm thinking for what they pay to go to SHOT Show, I'd be like, seriously, people, you're sending our media off to another show. But I did appreciate it. I thought it was neat. Don't know that I'll go again. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know.
I think it'll grow with time, and there's lots of room to expand there.
Well, yeah. I don't know. It was a neat little show. I had a little fun there. So
where was it, by the way?
And that's the other reason I went. I had never been to the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Oh, is it the big one? Okay, I got you.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So we went ahead and ran over there. We just went over there Thursday morning, and spent. We were back by noon or something, I guess, at SHOT Show. So that was kind of neat. All right. So next up we have our range day coverage. If you haven't watched the video that's in here,
the music is awesome.
Spectacular. It's a work of art.
I'm a little bit biased because I created the video on the bus on the way back from the range. I made this video, and I started it as a joke, but then I played it back and kind of a demo to show TJ how you use the video editor on the iPhone. And as I got into it a little bit, I was like, you know what, this is going to be kind of funny. I kind of like this. So if you haven't watched it, please go check out the article, watch the video, leave a comment, give it a like, a thumbs up, whatever. If you don't mind, give it a thumbs down. If you don't, that's fine too. Whatever makes you happy. In here, you'll see, again, the photo dump. If you want to see what the day looked like, all kinds of pictures in there. I'm not going to scroll through all of them. Please go check it out if you're interested to see what TJ and AJ and I took pictures of at SHOT Show. for the range.
More importantly, Jessica got around that on her 4-wheel drive scooter.
Yeah, that was that worked out. Appeared to work out better than I had hoped. You know, they were optimistic that it was going to work out well, and I thought, oh my goodness, you know, when I try to do stuff like that, something goes wrong, and I was not optimistic, but it appeared
You
to work.
did pay the extra $40 for the additional insurance.
Yeah, which is good. I thought she was going to need that insurance when she drove out in front of that police officer and almost got run over. But fortunately, she didn't actually get run over. That was interesting. So
Fun times.
So we also have Tuesday at SHOT, more pictures just like the one we saw earlier. And then we have another one. I'm not even going to scroll into those. They're the same.
Do you have pictures of Alcatraz?
Couple sentences there talking about high level what we did that day, and then pictures. You know, we actually got a couple paragraphs on this one, and then pictures from the show. I wanted to highlight this one because I didn't put 2 and 2 together on this right away. You see TJ taking pictures of AJ. AJ, you want to talk about why he was taking your picture with that guitar case?
Yeah, so what actually happened was for the 2021 SHOT Show, 5150 Rifles wanted one of my guitar cases so they could air paint it, Legends of Rock. They had a theme going. And what actually happened is 2021 SHOT Show never happened. I forgot about this, and then we met them at a bar, and they're like, hey, Cedar Mill. They saw a patch on Jessica's knee brace, and she's like, yeah, well, it's AJ over there. And put 2 and 2 together, remembered what happened. They told us the guitar case was at the booth here, so there we are taking pictures of it.
Yeah, so before we went to the Motorcycle Expo, we ran to the Athlon Optics booth, and they had the 5150 rifle, and then one of the Cedar Mill Fine Firearms cases there. And that I thought that was pretty neat. I was thrilled for AJ to have that, one of his products featured in that booth. Although it was a shame that there was no mention anywhere that it was one of his cases. So they let him put some branding up there for it, which I thought was nice of them. He thought he was coming to SHOT Show just to cover it for Gear Report. Turned out he was displaying a product there as well.
No idea.
Yeah, and if you
Who's the Boogaloo?
The cool people we ran into, that's Bill from Talking Lead and what was it, like Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association or something like that. A couple other folks in here. We did the celebrity tour around the Circle Bar doing selfies. And then went to dinner with 5150. So that was a big day. We had a lot of fun, saw a bunch of cool people, saw a bunch of cool products. That was probably the biggest day for seeing like neat new stuff that jumped out at me, I think. I don't know. All right. I think that covers all of the new ones. What was that? We didn't look at the one for Wednesday, but it's just like the others. It's got the little intro at the beginning, and then it has all the pictures. So if you want to see any of that stuff, please go to Gear Report, find those, look at the pictures, make comments, ask questions, anything you want. All right.
Is it Wednesday that has the quick detach upper receiver from 5150?
I don't know.
That's worth checking out. That was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah. So, and we're gonna have Keith on at some point in the next few weeks to talk about that. If you are impatient and you don't want to wait for that, you can go to the Ghost Tactical channel and find a discussion that's already happened talking about 5150 and their rifles and their cool system for putting everything together. We had some cool stories. We swapped back and forth with the Rubber Dummies people. None of them are fit for an open discussion, though. Sorry about that. Which happened more often than not. AJ, this is that yellow case I was telling you about that I was like, oh man, with the wide wheels, because my Nanook case tips over a little too easy. So I'll talk to Tyler about that.
Yeah, after you mentioned that, I checked out that case and it has some burly wheels on. I've never seen wheels that heavy duty.
Yeah.
On a rolling case.
Yeah, so a bunch of cool stuff in here. Man, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm seeing more and more thermals every year. Night vision is getting much more prolific, but thermals are popping up everywhere at SHOT Show.
Yeah, I tell you the one thing that I'm not liking though are the digital night vision stuff, because that stuff's not very good. But I saw a lot of digital night vision this year.
You know, I've played with both, and I actually like the digital because it'll get you like 90% of the performance for most situations for, you know,
Well, they are going to be a fraction of the price too.
A tenth of the price, yeah. So a tenth or maybe you know a fifth, depending on what you get. So I like it for that reason. But yeah, I mean it's not the same.
I think Clover's been waiting in the green room.
What? I don't see him. Oh, he's down there. Y'all got to tell me.
Well, I didn't know until he puts it in the private chat. So
yeah, TJ could have let him in. I
didn't even see him, dude.
Yep.
He's used to
that. Did any of you guys try this? It was like an airsoft target system. You shoot at the TVs. It's like a touch screen, and when the airsoft hits it, it wasn't.
No,
airsoft,
I didn't see that. That sounds pretty cool, but no, I didn't see that.
It was neat.
I had a blast with that. I'm gonna have to get a video up. Actually, did we put a video up? I think our social media director posted a video during the show because someone said something to me about it. Oh man, where was that target you were shooting at? And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Caesars.
Come to find out that it had been posted. Yeah, because it was like 2 hours after we did it, and she had already posted it. I was like, man, that's awesome. And it doesn't look like that was the day that we posted the the 5150 rifle stuff. Although who knows? I mean, there are hundreds of pictures. I really don't want to scroll through all of them and then ruin it for the people who haven't seen it yet. Please go check it out. And I took a picture of pretty much everything in the new product center. So I may actually put a post together that's just stuff from the new product center, so that, you know, because they're telling everyone you couldn't take pictures.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had a guy come up and accost me. You're not allowed to take pictures here. 2, maybe 3 pictures. That's it. I said, well, we're here before it opens. As part of the media breakfast, we were invited here to have breakfast and then take pictures and video of anything we want in the new product center. No, 2 or 3 pictures. That's it. I said, okay, thank you. And I just kept taking pictures.
Every product has got a picture.
I made sure at that point that I would get absolutely every one of them. All right, here we go. Rich said 2 mornings that he sat beside me. Yeah, there are no guitars behind me. That happens sometimes. Yeah, you have to use your imagination. It was a blow to my ego, but I survived. It'll be okay. I was thrilled. Here's the deal. TJ hadn't done anything in the firearms publishing review space before he started doing anything with Gear-Report. As we walked around SHOT Show, I lost count of the times that we're just walking, and I hear from two rows down, TJ, and people with their arms up and waving. He's got a cult following. So I was actually pretty happy about that.
I'm surprised the circle bar didn't shut down when he showed up.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. They did.
They love money.
Yeah, the first night there, they treated him like a normal person. The next night, it was like VIP status, you know? Like, oh, it's him.
Yep.
You know? Let's be sure he gets quick service. Oh, yeah, Snob, we missed you, as far as you know. Yep. All right, so that covered all the stuff that's been published, and that took a little longer to get through than I was hoping. Let's do, before we go into stuff that's upcoming, why don't we do a real quick, what should we do? Like go around the room and talk about, I'm never going to say like coolest thing from SHOT, whatever. You pick, everyone pick what you want to talk about. One thing about SHOT Show that you think everyone needs to know. And of course, I don't have anything in mind when I say that. I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about, though, is not even SHOT Show. I'm going to talk about, nope, we're going to talk about Battlefield Vegas later because that's a completely different discussion. I will say about SHOT Show that it's been very interesting seeing various groups of people within the industry who typically go to SHOT Show. The ones who went are all like, this is the best SHOT Show ever, hands down. All the tourists were gone. We were able to get business done. It was the best show ever. All the people who didn't go continuing to justify why they weren't there. And oh no, and it had to be terrible. And most of the people weren't there, whatever. I found that kind of interesting. I am super interested to see what happens moving forward because the people who were there, I think, are going to be looking for, hey, what can we do to make this better in the future like it was this year? Maybe lean on NSSF to do something different. I don't know. I don't even know what they could do different. What do you guys think? For observations from SHOT Show, if you had one thing that you want people that people should know from SHOT, what do you think? Let's go that way. That way.
I mean, just the sheer expanse of SHOT Show is really, really spread out, and I think it's a lot more walking this year because it was spread out over to Caesars and everything. And I was like, my gosh. Like we hit Caesars like the first day and a half. Mm-hmm. And we're like, yeah, we have to get over to the main floor. We haven't even hit that yet. So it was a lot more expansive, and it took a lot longer. Like I didn't know, like another day.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think AJ said he covered everything, and I didn't. Like there is I'm going to say 30% of the booths I never even saw. Never even went past them.
Yeah,
maybe more. Clover, we have not welcomed you to the broadcast yet. Would you like to?
Yo.
Yeah, he's a little upset about that, by the way.
Yeah. I'm so heartbroken.
I'm looking at him. He looks a little angry.
I know, right? No, SHOT Show's dead, man. What else can you say? Really?
Yeah.
SHOT Show 2022. If you didn't go, don't bother. It's dead. If you weren't there this year, don't even bother coming back. I don't care if you're a company or a YouTuber or whatever. Just don't go. It's not worth it. Don't go. It's horrible. I hope people don't show up in 2022 and 2023. They realize it's going to be exactly the same way. Obviously, that's a joke. But one thing is
a joke, but I hope that a lot of people.
I hope it's true.
I mean, I actually agree with you there.
Well, in a way, the SHOT Show is dead is the joke part. Right. I'm very sincere when I say if you didn't show up in 2022, I could give two flips if you ever show up again. Quite honestly, your loss. You should not even bother coming back. Two things to piggyback off what you said, Jeff, and about the way the show was. If you went there to work the show, oh my goodness. I mean, we go in and we work the show, and then you were talking about what will happen or come about throughout the year because of that, right? And so we all know you go in, you work that show, and you have what, 20-30% maybe of the companies you talk to that respond, that you make a connection with, that you are able to follow up, that you are able to do anything. And if 20 or 30% out of this show, and I feel like even more, will end up committing to things, I really do, because we had that time to spend in the booths.
Yeah,
I feel that it'll be more than 20 or 30%, but even at 20 or 30%, as much as we were able to get done, at least me, I'm a one-man show. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I literally don't know how I'm going to handle it. So
it's going to be a busy year.
Yeah, it worries me a little bit. I'm not going to be able to keep up. To mention something you talk about favorite part of the show or something that people might not know or whatever, I want to bring this up, and it's the organizations and the nonprofits and the things like that that are there. I think they get overshadowed sometimes by the companies and the cool trinkets and things like that. And there were organizations there that were Walk the Talk America and Blue Line Bears, two of my absolute favorite all-time organizations that were getting things done right, moving forward with their organizations and the goals for their nonprofits and all that stuff. So, when you go to SHOT, don't overlook those. Those places need help too. They're doing great work and wonderful things.
Yeah, well, thanks for pointing that out. I completely agree. And we actually didn't do anything with any of those organizations this time.
Shame
we
on
did
you.
at the Fire Expo last year. We did dedicate some time to that and shot a video with the with an organization that helps recover mainly girls that have been abducted and forced into like
I
sex
remember
slavery.
that. Yeah, I remember
Yeah, that was the most
trafficking thing.
exactly. That was the most heart-wrenching, most difficult video I've ever done.
Yeah.
Having the discussions before we did the interview, doing the interview itself, those were difficult. Sitting down and editing that video, staring at it, thinking about it for hours was heartbreaking. It was terrible. And the worse it felt, the better I felt about putting that video out to be sure people knew about the Destiny Rescue organization and what they could do. So that is something that I agree with you, and we'll have to make sure we put that on the agenda next year to do a little bit more to seek out some of those organizations. And if anyone didn't go see it yet, go find the Shot Show is Dead video that Clover put out.
I'm just going to say this real quick. This is the best video that Clover's ever done, like by far, in my opinion.
You may be right. And
No, and I'm not joking
right
like in a mean
Go
way.
watch
This is my
watch it
favorite
here.
video he's ever done. It's beautiful.
There's
well
so
done.
there's so many people that just don't get it, and it's people that didn't go. Right? We all know those pictures were staged.
Yeah.
Like, I intentionally waited till there was empty booths and not very many people standing around the empty booths. I intentionally went to hallways that were empty. I intentionally took the what is that, the canal shops video early in the morning when nobody.
Yeah, that was like
intentionally did all
7:15
that.
in the morning. Yeah, exactly.
And people are like, I'll tell them, no, man, it's like SHOT Show wasn't dead, and they're like, yeah, but there was nobody standing around. And I'm like, I did it to prove it. It's called satire, man. It's called satire. Did you watch till the end? No. Well, there you go. It's your fault. You're a moron.
And that's why, that's why you have so many friends right there. Clearly, Clover has read How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, so that joke fell flat. I apologize. But yeah, great video. Go watch it. Give them a like, thumbs up, thumbs down if you choose. I mean, whatever. It all drives the algorithms. So whatever. All right, so we're going around the clock here. AJ, you want to talk about what jumped out at you?
I think it was Friday. I stopped by Strategic Armory Course, and they do a lot with Armalite, Macmillan, Surgeon rifles. If I remember correctly, under the Armalite brand, they're coming out with an AR-15 style shotgun, which isn't anything new, but it's not driven by a gas system. It uses the recoil to slam the barrel backwards and activate the action cycling your rounds. That was pretty unique.
That is. Yeah, I didn't see that. I wish I would have, because I'm having trouble kind of visualizing how that mechanism would work.
It doesn't make sense until you see it, and then you're like, that's ingenious.
Huh. Neat. All right. Well, cool. Thanks for sharing that one. Let's see, Ghost, do you have anything you want to talk about that was like, whoa?
Yeah, it was just the whole experience last week was great. But one of the things I want to talk about is I made a special point, and I went there the first thing Tuesday morning. I stopped by the ATF booth, and I had a conversation with some of the people there. And there's a lady there, and I just walked up to him and I said, "Look, I know y'all are going to get ready to you're going to be on blast all week. I get that." And I just said, "Look, I may not agree with what you guys do most of the time, but I respect the hell of the fact that you're here." And you're going to take the abuse all week, and you're going to answer questions. And she literally stood up and gave me a hug. And so every day I went back to her, and I got a hug from her every day. It was one of those funny things every day, but it was just one of those things where I felt like, they're going to be on blast all week, but they're people. They're doing their jobs, and most of these people are indifferent to firearms, much less anti-gun. They just it's a job to them. So I just want to stop by. But the biggest thing that's driving me nuts about SHOT Show, the coverage wise, is there are so many people out there that did not go to SHOT Show that are putting videos out about SHOT Show, and it's absolutely driving me berserk. And it's just like, wow, okay, so you're gonna piggyback off of everybody else's work, and then you're just gonna get some basically pictures from you find on Instagram and put them in a video. Yeah, that's been driving me nuts.
Yeah, I saw. I don't want to give them any mention or traffic.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But one that had like 25 new guns from SHOT Show. I'm like, your fat ass didn't even go to SHOT Show.
Right.
But
yes,
yeah,
that was one that I saw that really got me.
Yep. Yeah, there were a few like that, and I, to be honest, I also found it rather annoying that while we're out there walking the floor and busy, some of them, like you said, harvesting mentions as people post things and then aggregating it and putting it out. And honestly, they were able to cover the show better because they weren't there in some cases. But like you said, only because the people who were there.
Well, I got several comments from vendors that have booths there. And even Clover was there when one of the guys mentioned, she's like, it's like all the pretenders aren't here. Like the people that just are, taking selfies. He's like, the people that are here to work and doing business. So even the vendors saw that we were actually working,
Yeah, from a lot of the vendors I talked with, the bigger, let's just say bigger channels that were there that did nothing, and the bigger channels that did not attend, definitely black-eyed big creators as a whole, I think, because there was not the sentiment against larger YouTube creators, right, was not good to any vendor that I talked to. It really wasn't. And I'll tell you another thing too, kind of piggybacking off of what Ghost said about being annoyed. There's something that annoyed me. There was a lot of newbies this year, creator-wise, media-wise.
Yep.
And what annoyed me is they went to SHOT Show, and several of them I had lots of faith in, and I haven't necessarily lost faith in them. But they went to SHOT Show, and they would text me, they'd want to meet up, and I'm fine with that. I'm there to work, but I don't have a problem crossing paths, or if we can meet up in the media room, or at a booth or whatever. But they had no clue about the media room. They had no clue. It's like they went to SHOT Show. I don't know the motives in their mind, for that or anything like that. But they went to SHOT Show and they didn't have any type of game plan. They didn't know about the resources available. They weren't, a part of a group or a team. And you talked about this in the media day, Jeff, in the media room one day. We can all be doing our separate things, but we're also a broader support mechanism as well. I think maybe we need to, and I think I do a pretty good job at trying to reach out to newer creators and stuff, but maybe we need to do a better job at reaching out to them and educating them and helping give them a hand up, right? Not a hand out, but a hand up.
Yep.
Yeah, just don't use group text chats at 11 o'clock at night because some people don't like it.
Well, I get the group's text chat. I said when that was put out that's okay if you're putting a notice out, that's fine. But when you start communicating just randomly through a group text, it gets horrible. I've had
and that's what it was used for the most part. We had a little fun with it one morning just to some people. But that's, we found out where all the kegs were at 4:30 thanks to TJ, so that was
This is
nice.
You're
true.
welcome. That's my job.
Yep. Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I am very curious to see how SHOT changes because I don't. I think that there are a lot of people, if it goes back to the way it was, a lot of people are going to be upset. Like seriously, it was so good this year. We were able to get so much done. Like TJ and I literally had the longest meeting I ever thought possible at SHOT Show. Like most years, if we're more than about 15 minutes, I'm like, dude, we don't have time for this. We got to keep moving. Uh, we had a 3-hour meeting, and it was a lunch meeting, but I really thought it'd be like a half hour, 45-minute meeting. We didn't even talk business for like 50 minutes.
Yeah,
And
wasn't
we're
that
getting,
beautiful?
That happened a lot of times. Yeah.
we're getting close to the end of that first hour, and I'm like, man, we better talk a little bit of business because this meeting's about over. We hadn't done anything yet. Little did I know we would go take a bunch of pictures and shoot a little bit of video and just kept. It was a brand that had a whole lot of a couple different product categories, so there was a lot to talk about. But it was so cool to be able to not freak out about, oh my God, a 3-hour meeting. There were only a handful of brands that laid after the show. I was like, oh no, we didn't
Yeah.
make it by to see them. Like I tried to catch up with Deadfoot Arms a couple times. Went by on the way to a scheduled meeting, like one of my only scheduled meetings. We had two, I think.
Yeah.
One with Palmetto, and then one with Global Ordnance, and that was it. I don't think we had any more scheduled meetings. Everything else was just, we spent a lot of time just looking for new stuff, and I really loved that.
So
Yeah.
speaking of Cat, this was Friday morning. We go over to see Cat, and we spend 45 minutes with Cat, and we still hadn't talked business.
Right.
It was just we ended up walking. Hey, all right, so just text me, guys. We're like, yeah, we'll text you next week. One of those things. It's just the way Cat is. But she says, I don't do email. I just do text. I was like, yeah. And but she was like, we were for 45 minutes, and then kind of what Clover was saying is one of the newer gun tubers happened to be in the booth, and when Clover he got selfies with me and Clover, and it was what it is. But he was videoing like through the booth, and like how Kat is, she's gonna say what's on her mind. She straight up looks at him. She's like, "Are you videoing right now?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "You can't video private conversations, bro. Like you need to learn that shit." It was hilarious. And he was like,
verbatim, that's what she said. Too.
yeah, and verbatim. And he was like, "Oh, I won't put this in the video." He goes, "Yeah, you need to be careful. Like, you don't go around videoing like private conversations." And I was like,
he
he needed to learn that for sure.
So it was interesting. What was funny about that, what I noticed is, before that happened, he was talking to one of the other Geo guys, and he was talking it up that he knew Black Rambo and he was the big fan of the Strybog, and I mean he was just greasing the wheels, right? And then he walked over there. He walked over there and he just pissed it away by doing something stupid in front of Cat. Maybe not, but that's the way it appeared anyway.
He'll be fine. I like him.
Okay, I got to tell my Black Rambo story because I thought this was hilarious.
Oh, dude.
From the show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I got one for Tuesday night after your story about him too. So go ahead.
Never met him. Never seen anything that he's done. I've heard his name a few times, and he may be a wonderful person. He may be not. I have no idea. I know nothing about him other than just a few little things I've overheard here and there. And so I didn't have a lot of expectation. And we wander over to the Century and Canic booth, and we're looking for Adam to talk about whatever we need to do, whatever they need help with coming up. And while we're looking for him, the Black Rambo guy comes up. Hey, how you doing? It was super loud, kind of in your face, and almost right away, hey, how you doing? Whatever, and you know who I am? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's on your shirt. Like you had Black Rambo right here, And I was like, who leads with, oh, yeah, you know who I am? Like, really? It was
Oh
just
yeah.
bizarre how the interaction went. But it was like the delayed reaction of he was all happy, like, yeah, you know who I am. And then realized, well, of course we do. It's because it's on your shirt. And it kind of deflated him a little bit. But he seemed very proud of himself for being in that booth. He must have been like, they must have hired him to do some stuff there, the way he was going around talking to people.
Yeah, I think he's promoting the giveaways
Yeah.
and stuff.
And that I found
you
that
think?
bizarre. Like, he seems like kind of a divisive.
Yeah. So the first time I'd ever seen him was 2020. And I literally
Right.
followed him for about 6 booths down in the dungeon. Like literally just because I heard him say it the first time and I was like, is this guy for real?
Mhm.
And so I just kind of watched him. I'm Black
really?
Rambo. What are you going to send me? Like verbatim. Like,
Yeah.
I'm Black Rambo. What are you going to send me? I'm Black. And I was like, oh my God. So we're walking over Tuesday night. I say I made the logistical nightmare choice. We walked from Sands over to Caesars for and Terry's things.
Yeah.
That was probably
we
should
did
have not
too.
have walked that. But we did. But we finally get over to Caesars, and he's out in front of Caesars, and I didn't know it was him because it was dark out there, and he's on the phone. As I'm walking by him, he goes, "Have you ever heard of Black Rambo on YouTube?" Yeah, that's me. That's me. I'm like, dude, if you had to start a conversation on the phone of "Have you ever heard of
Right.
Black Rambo?" That's me. Then they probably don't know who you are to begin with.
Yeah.
You know, but it was
And
just
they probably
it's
don't
hilarious.
care. Is the
They
other
probably
thing.
don't care. But yeah, it's
You have
definitely
to tell
interesting being
somebody.
around him.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's what, the other weird thing with
bizarre.
going along the lines of that type of thinking. We were watching an ARWG cracks me up, but we were watching a live from him, and he was walking around like you were talking about, with a shirt with his channel on it, which I don't have a problem. Y'all guys walk around with Gear Report. There's nothing wrong with self-promotion. But literally, Ghost will back me up on this. We were watching his live stream, his first live stream. He just walked in the SHOT Show, first booth he hit, and he goes, "Yeah, I'm a regular gun guy on YouTube. Check me out." And I'm like, really?
To a vendor,
Really?
like they're fanboys, like they're like he's there to meet them, you know.
They don't care
Yeah.
to check you out. It's what you can do for them.
On
not what
top of
they can
that,
do
that
for
was
you.
Thursday afternoon, by the way. His first day at SHOT Show was Thursday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was funny at the Circle Bar. I posted some pictures when we were scrolling through one of the days of selfies with people at the Circle Bar, and I felt bad, but not really. That like TJ was telling me who they were. Oh yeah, go get a picture with that one. Go get a picture with that. I didn't know who they were. I don't have time to watch anyone. Like I watch you guys. Some of what you post, to be honest, because I try to watch it all, but
I
I'm the
don't
same
watch
way.
my own stuff, much less expect you to. So.
I'm the same way, and that's I think that's the healthy thing. I think that's where you need to be. Because at the end of the day, what aggravates me is the people that literally chase. Let me back up. The creators that chase other bigger creators, chase them literally around SHOT Show to get a selfie. Is the most pathetic thing you could possibly do. And I'm saying this from a position that I once did that. And I learned it's the most pathetic thing you can do. The time you're spending trying to chase that person that gives two flips about you, that will not grow your channel by getting a selfie with them. And you've just wasted time at the show. You could have been in a booth talking to a company or even helping a smaller creator or another creator out. There's so much better use of your time than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't chase them. I'm taller than most of them, so I don't worry about it.
Yeah. That's true.
But yeah, it was just I watch whenever I'm indisposed, I'll throw on some YouTube videos if it's something about a gun I want or something like that. Like okay, but I watch you guys. I usually throw on at when I'm at work. I'll throw the videos on and just let them cycle through.
Watch later in a playlist, man. That's basically, the way I do it.
Yeah.
And honestly, listen probably more than I watch.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'll be at work and I'll just throw down. Like, Clover go posted something, I'll throw the video on and just set the phone down and keep working, and I'll do something else, and I'll just I'll cycle through whoever posted that day.
I'm used to people not listening to me. It's all good, TJ.
I listen to you, man. And Ghost and Jet. I'll watch this show again tomorrow. And I was here.
Yeah, well, but I do that too. I will log in and rewatch stuff on different accounts, just because, why not? The gun snob. Oh wow, somebody recognized the snob in the casino. Good for you, man. That's always
There
fun.
you go. It was me. I was like, snob.
Nice. I was yeah, I got a little big headed. Ghost was when he walked into the Trailblazer booth, and I'd never met those guys, and they knew who I was, and it's like, nice. It's nice.
They thought I was his cameraman, which made me feel really good.
They didn't by the time it was done.
Listen, with the long hair, you look like a cameraman.
But they
That's
it's nice.
fair.
Just saying.
It's nice when that happens, because that really helps break the tension and break the ice of walking in and talking to a company you've never talked to before, because they're already familiar with your content. You don't really got to explain nothing of that. It's nice. Doesn't happen very often though.
I think I've been trying to find. I've been sitting here scrolling on my phone trying to find. Talking about channels, one that I had never seen before, that I started searching while we were at the show. I started searching, or right as we were leaving, to see if anyone was posting videos, just in case there was anything I hadn't seen that I needed to go look at. And I found a channel I'd never seen before. He's getting lots of views. Backfire. I don't know if you guys know that
Never heard
guy.
of him.
Pretty decent little, like a one-man show going around self-filming stuff, it looked like. He's getting a lot of views and doing pretty good videos. So I thought I'd give a shout out to, that's a channel I hadn't seen. And I'm seeing lots of videos. Classic Firearms had a team going around shooting videos.
Yeah, they had a bunch of people there.
Yeah. I saw Sweaty Ben walking around one day.
Oh, hey, by the way, I got a text from Kat, not Global Ordnance Kat, but Kat from 5150.
Mm-hmm.
Their YouTube page went live today, so go there and subscribe to 5150's YouTube. They're going to start putting videos out next week.
Nice. Yeah, we'll have to go check that out. So, let's see. What else was I going to talk about here? Yeah,
I have no idea.
yeah, I appreciate the people who were there getting content. Not a fan of the ones who didn't go but sat at home and kind of harvested ideas and pictures from everyone else. Those people can eat a dick, basically.
Well, but there's a couple, like you said, that's worth pointing out since you're shouting out channels. Guns and Barbecue is one. Santee TV is another. Both of those did wonderful with bringing in people from the show, bringing in people that had been at SHOT Show, that sort of thing, and kind of recapping the day and kind of keeping people up to date on what was going on. Both of them did a pretty good job. Now, Guns and Barbecue, I think the very first one, not so much. He had quite a few people in there that had never been to SHOT Show and was talking a bunch of hearsay that wasn't accurate. And I kind of chastised him for that a little bit. But overall, they did a great job. So there are people that do not go that offer really great support mechanisms for those that do go. And, and we need to be thankful for those folks for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm scrolling to see if any other channels pop up. I did watch, Snob had a neat video. If you want to go see was it Ounce or Ounce Gun, something like that? Go check that out. That was a neat little, like, tiny folding gun. All right, let me see if I can pull this up here. Share screen.
You don't have the tab already opened?
No, I'm moving on from that. I mentioned Snobs. That's all I'm doing for Snobs.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to bring up this other one. They have 13, make that 14 subscribers now on 5150. And they have no videos. They have subscribers. They don't even have any videos yet. Look at that.
Yeah, she said they're going to start releasing videos next week once their new website is launched early next week.
Cool. All right, so people can go check that out and support a cool company. That it was nice to find out that we already had a connection with them through Cedar Mill Fine Firearms, and they're using one of his cases last year. So that was kind of neat.
I actually had an interesting conversation with someone that I heard something for the first time in my life. I never thought I would hear it, but I did. And he says, "Oh, you're taller than I thought you would be. Everyone talks about how short you are. You're actually taller than I thought." And I was like, "You're my hero. Like, this is wonderful. Thank you so much." You know, he's like, "Everyone talks about how short you are." And I was like, "I am short." And he goes, "Yeah, but you're taller than I thought. I thought you're like 5'2" or something."
Yeah. So, yeah.
And moving on.
Thinking that. But everyone talks about how short Ghost is, but you got to keep in mind that that's because they see him around TJ and me and Snob and
And G, well, you don't see pictures of G, but yeah, I surround myself with Jolly Green Giants. That's probably not the smartest move.
When he got that compliment, he was standing next to me, so I take partial credit.
And that does help. Yes, it does help. I surround myself around Clover as well. That makes me feel better about myself sometimes.
All right, so let's see. I think we've covered recently published reviews. We've covered some generic SHOT Show stuff. TJ, do you want to talk about Saturday? Kind of give people the overview of what we did on Saturday.
We hung out. It was awesome. We hung out with the heavy hitters over there at Battlefield Vegas, and that's their tank restoration division. I'll call it division.
Sure.
And we get to see all kinds of neat stuff. Learn. I mean, they get a lot of history stories on some of the stuff on the tanks and stuff. And we interviewed quite a few of the guys there and telling us their backstories and what they're working on. And we actually Jeff got to ride around in a tank, and we got to drive the what were those? The armored personnel carriers. What were those?
Yeah, that's what they were.
Yep.
It was what the M1165.
I don't know the model,
something like that. I don't remember. They were Israeli. It was an Israeli. I think they may have been a U.S. armored personnel carrier that had been sold to Israel and then imported back into.
They were, that was fun. That was fun. Jeff tried to flip me out the back. I saw you.
I can only try so much with the cameras rolling, you know. But
it would have been good footage.
Yeah, and so I've got I'm working on a range day. We're gonna have the what was it? The Fox unit. I think that's the one that's going to drop in the morning, that video. And then the next one that I'm working on is the like a range day overview. And man, we shot so many different things. And most years we shoot a ton, and I just kind of keep that footage for later. This year I said, you know what? I'm just going to do one big long thing that hits on a bunch of the stuff that we shot. So we'll post that. When I get that done, I need to start cranking out some real Battlefield Vegas videos. If you go to the Gear Report channel and look at shorts, I've been posting shorts as an experiment. I know Snob and I talked about playing with posting shorts on YouTube a couple months ago to see if we get any traction with those. I haven't got a ton of traction with them, but they're so easy to post that I have posted quite a few from SHOT Show. So I'll share one with you here that TJ was talking about. This is me riding on a Russian tank and doing a donut in the parking lot.
G-Webs would be proud.
Yeah.
There's your donut. See, you probably didn't see one.
Yeah. That was really awesome. I'd never been on a tank. I'd never been in a tank. We were able to get down in it. It sat in
so were like you in control of the tank?
Sat in each of different positions in the tank.
No.
I'll tell you what, I never want to be in the tank.
Surely they wouldn't let you guys control the tank, would they?
No.
Not that one, but it was because of the way the transmission worked. He said, you know, they have tanks that you can drive. So you can go to Battlefield Vegas. We drove the armored personnel carrier at the track that they have that's right behind Circus. So their main Battlefield Vegas, the Airspace Military Museum, whatever it's called, is outside. They have all the tanks and armored personnel carriers. Anyone can walk through, and they've got a couple helicopters, all kind of stuff, military trucks, Humvees, that is just available on display. You can go check it out. You can go in the indoor shooting range at Battlefield Vegas and shoot all sorts, like pretty much anything. Like whatever your dream gun is, they probably have it.
They should do like a night shoot or something during the week in accordance with SHOT. That'd be kind of a fun event to go to.
And they have brands do events with them periodically. Because I talked to Ron probably a week before SHOT. Ron's the owner at Battlefield, and said, or it was probably about a month before SHOT. Hey, what events do you have, going on? He said, yeah, a couple brands have scheduled some things, not too much. So, but that's a huge opportunity because they have stuff you can do at Battlefield right there, like right off the strip. But then they also have, if you go a block down the road, they have a track where you can drive a Humvee, you can drive the APCs. They literally have an F-16 sitting in there, and some military trucks that like you're driving on this track that weaves through them, goes down into a ditch, comes up over a couple of mounds. Really, really a neat track. But then you can also go out of town to, they call it the FOB. It's it's modeled after an Afghan forward operating base, and they have a helicopter company that you can mount a minigun in the helicopter and go up and shoot at the side of the mountain.
Okay, I'm in. You had me at
After the last
miniguns.
SHOT show, TJ and I went out there and we shot artillery, did a flamethrower. TJ shot a 50 cal off of an APC. I shot a minigun off of a Humvee. We rode in the APC. We didn't get to drive it that time because we ran out of time.
You can fire tanks too now, they said.
Right. You can drive tanks, fire tanks. You can drive the APCs, fire stuff off of them. I mean, there's so much that you can do there. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I've
so
been
to the
blessed to be able to
comment
shoot a
about-
lot of cool guns, but a minigun is definitely on the bucket list. That's one that I want to shoot that I haven't shot yet.
I'll be honest with you. The first time we went to Battlefield a few years ago, Dustin had a fan that was there. So if you go to Battlefield, there's a little dude that works behind the counter. The guy who owns it is Ron. They call him Big Ron. This guy, they either call him Little Ron or Mike Ron. Like Little Ron, Mike Ron. Mike Ron had reached out to Dustin and said, hey, when you're in town for SHOT, if you ever want to come by, I'll buy you 100 rounds on the minigun. So we went with Dustin.
That lasts, what, about 2.2 seconds?
It was something like that, yeah.
It was a short video.
We went with him and filmed for him, basically. And I watched it, and Dustin, you know how Dustin is. Dustin could shoot a pop gun, and he would, explode. Oh, he's high energy on everything. I shot the minigun and was like, really? I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't dislike it, but for what it cost and what it is, I was like, this is supposed to be super awesome, and it's too sanitary. It doesn't have that recoil impulse. It's just and it's done, and it pulls to the side a little bit, and that's it. I like it was fun. I would have rather shot that. TJ got to shoot that one. That had more of a gun feel, I think.
Yes.
So
shooting the side of the mountain.
Yeah, it was cool. And shooting artillery, that was cool. Never done that before. But anyhow, we'll have some videos. I'll use some of the old footage from a couple years ago to show some of the other things, wrap in some of the new stuff that we did with the tanks. AJ did an interview with Dimitri. What was the tank that he was working on?
I can't remember. It was an old Russian tank. It was an amphibious armored personnel carrier that the Russians developed in the 60s. Used it when they invaded Afghanistan. They left it there, from what I remember.
Huh.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, they. I think it was BMP-1, maybe.
That's what it was. Yep.
And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing that our friend Mike Pappas over at Dead Air. I'm pretty sure that's what he has.
Oh man,
Like,
we've got a
one.
story about Mike. Oh my god,
Funniest dude ever.
Isn't he?
So we were meeting with someone like, oh, tell you what, we need for you to go meet this guy over at Dead Air. I'm like, okay. His name is Rod, and so he calls him. He's not answering. So I'm gonna take a picture of you guys, text to him so he knows be ready for you. Like, okay, we'll go meet him here in a little bit. So we go outside to smoke, and we're just out there smoking. And this guy walks up, and we're like, he has a Dead Air silencers on there. We're like, hey, Dead Air, we're supposed to go meet Rod here in a little bit. And he goes, oh, that's perfect, you know. And we just start talking to him, and he is like the funniest dude you'll ever meet in your life.
Yep.
We're rolling. Like, he could have done a stand-up routine, and it would have been the greatest stand-up routine ever.
Yep.
And about 15 minutes later, Clover's like, that name sounds familiar.
He started off by saying he was the B team.
Oh yeah, he was the B team. He goes, oh yeah, you're gonna meet Rod. I'm the B team.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the B team, man. I don't do anything.
I'm just there to help people if they need something, you know.
Yeah.
And then we found out that it was Mike, and it was like, oh shit. So we saw him a couple times throughout the week again, and we asked him about his tank and all that. He started showing us pictures of his tank, but the first time he was, yeah, I'm B team. I'm just here to help people. So we pull up to Dead Air up there with Caesars, and he's like in front of camera crew doing this commercial. And I was like, wait, what the hell? And so like Clover starts looking it up, and he's like, dude, he's like the owner. I was like, what?
That was before we got over there, though. That was before we got over there. I looked it up. And then we get over there, and he's in front of the camera, and it's like, yep. But I called him B-Team the entire rest of the show. I was like, what's up, B-Team?
We did. Like, he'd walk out, and he goes, hey, what's up, B-Team? He goes, what's up, guys? You know?
Yeah, so he did some intros for us a couple years ago at the last Antares event. And we use those in some of our in our Antares event video. He is one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's hilarious, really. He's a lot of fun to be around. I was upset that we didn't run into him at the bar last time. Every time we walked by the was it the Square Bar, because that's where we were coming and going. It seemed like he was there. So we spent a lot of time with Pappas.
He can definitely hold court. I mean, like I said, he went through his divorces with this, and I was like, oh my god, this guy's. I'm sitting there like peeing. I'm laughing so hard at him.
Yeah, fun dude. All right, so why don't we touch on? Everyone can talk about. We can actually get back to the formal agenda of the things we're supposed to talk about. We call it reviews that will be published soon. We can kind of generalize it to what do you guys have coming
forever.
Up?
This could take forever.
Whether it'll be your like something exciting you want to talk about that you have coming on your channel, something you're doing with Gear-Report. I really don't care.
If we don't limit it to definitive things coming soon, after the SHOT Show we just went through, this could last all night.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've got a roll. I've got to go pick up the drunks at the bar.
Say hi to Crystal.
All right, talk real quick about what's the next thing you have coming.
Apparently the Raging Taurus or the Raging Hunter from Taurus, the Diamondback Sidekick will be out, and then Wolfpack Armory, the Side Charger AR pistol.
Nice.
So what you're saying is I've got a shot to beat you to the punch with the Sidekick.
All depends on my editor.
Really?
Oh, it's done. It's been in the editing queue for a while.
Well, I can grease a palm or two and get ahead of TJ though, right? If I wanted to.
Son of a bitch, he's gonna do it then.
Yeah, I don't know. Depends on.
I've got pocket cheese. I've got pocket cheese.
Oh,
and,
he's got corn dogs. He's ready to go.
Waffles, pocket cheese and fanny pack waffles, man.
Oh, I'm out.
And corn dogs.
Pizza.
He's got the corn dogs that can fit in your pocket too. Yeah.
Nothing beats backpack pizza. All right, fellas, I gotta go. I will see you next round.
All right, thanks, man. Have fun.
Later.
Peace out, brother.
Yeah. So since we're talking about SHOT Show food, when you talk to Kat, you got to tell her that that you heard a story about her. It involved eating a hot dog, and potential for an OnlyFans page.
I think she told us that story in our meeting. That was one of the things she led with, as a matter of fact, which is ironic.
Interesting. Yeah. Well.
And if you don't know Kat, it might surprise you. If you know Kat, it doesn't surprise you whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't. So that was the first time that we met her, was at SHOT Show. So that was an interesting meeting.
We did have great food this SHOT Show. Oh my God, there was several times that
the barbecue was unreal.
Really well. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, so let's see. What pick one thing you want to promote that you have coming up, something you want to talk about that people should get excited about, that will be published on some channel at some point. Like let's you can go pie in the sky, but you know how stuff doesn't show up sometimes. What do you have like your hands on that you're going to publish soon?
That I have my hands on right now, or what I know that's coming?
This isn't an OnlyFans thing. Come on.
No, I understand. I tell you what, the SAR 109T AR pistol should be heading my way here pretty soon. I'm looking forward to that, and their own ammo is coming with it, which is kind of cool. So that, and then obviously the BRG9. I think we're all probably going to get our hands on one of those, and really cool pistol. I think Clover's got an interesting way of doing a video with that. I'm sure he'll talk about. But yeah, for me, that SAR AR pistol is going to be pretty nice, that little AR9.
Nice. The BRG9, I'm not sure if we'll do something with that or not. I don't know. The terms that they talked about, like, I mean,
we'll
honestly,
talk off. We'll talk off air. We'll talk off air.
But just generally speaking, we're in a position right now that there were more offers than we have time and resources to do at Gear-Report.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I think we're all gonna figure that out going forward.
For sure.
We're gonna have to pick and choose, and it's sad, but if they want to work with us, they're gonna have to, meet us on amicable terms.
Right. Yep. Yeah, but those sound exciting. And that did look like an interesting pistol. I'll be interested to see what we can work out with that one.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as stuff that I have, like hands-on, I don't have anything I hadn't talked about before, and I don't know what order things will show up. So I'm not going to tease any of that. TJ already talked about some stuff that's going to be published real soon. I will say that I need to get back to doing some more Humvee content, so look for some of that to come pretty soon. So, Clover, what do you have that's coming real soon?
A few things I can talk about, I guess. To hit on that BRG9 real quick, I had a conversation with Ken just yesterday, and we talked about how you got to get the brand out there. That's one of the big things. One of the reasons that you've seen booths that weren't getting a lot of traffic but had some awesome things is just they just don't have anything out there in media and brand recognition and that sort of thing. So them being at Range Day helped tremendously, was a great move. They're making a lot of great moves, I think, in that company. They just got to get the brand awareness. But here's the thing: it really looks and feels like, in a lot of ways, like a Springfield XD.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you got two things. We got to get brand awareness out there. We got to get some comparisons with the XD. Well, he talked about how they didn't want to do anything in-house and crap all over XD if that was the case. And I'm like, well, I don't mind doing that. There's a lot of other creators that don't. What you got to worry about with Springfield is Springfield vomits product at creators. So you're going to find a lot of creators that probably won't take up the BRG9 because they don't want to put nothing in a review against the XD. I've had an XD here for years. I love the firearm, but I'm not afraid to put them side by side and see what happens. And so you've got that comparison, and two reasons I think that could be important. Number one, the BRG9 is a lower price point. Number two is the 2A shenanigans that Springfield has went through. So how many people you got out there that see the Springfield XD, they handle it, they may like it, but they really don't want to buy something and support Springfield because of whatever 2A reasoning they've got. Now they've got the BRG9, and guess what? It's cheaper, and it may even be better. We don't know that yet, but it might be. So we've got that. The other thing, one I've been waiting on for a very long time, interesting story around it. EAA called me a couple days ago. The 10 millimeter 1911 that Gerson is putting out, and it was supposed to start shipping this week, but he called and he said, we got a problem. And I'm like, again? Oh my God. Turkey, which is where obviously Gerson is made and they were flying out of, Turkey, while we were at SHOT Show or this past weekend, got the worst blizzard snowstorm ever in the history of Turkey. So like flights were grounded and all of that. So that's going to be delayed, but it is coming. And then another interesting thing, I do a lot of work with Do All Outdoors, great friends of the channel, and stopped in the booth, talked to Dave there, and didn't want to take anything. First thing he said was, "I got somebody that's taking all the product this year," and I'm like, "I'm good with it, dude. I don't want to. I'm fine." That year he sent me home with all that stuff was complete chaos and a lot of work to get that to the car. So I'm like, no, man, I'm good. He just sent me a bunch of stuff anyway a few months back. And I said, no, I got plenty to work with. It's all good. I said, in fact, and they had the new clay cannon there. And I said, in fact, I haven't even played with the new clay cannons here. And he said, hey, man, he said, great video idea. He said, we had some problems with the clay cannon where the triggers would lock up. And I'm like, oh, really? And he said, yeah, have you experienced anything? I said, dude, I ain't even taken mine out of the box yet. I've been playing with the trap machines. And he's like, well, here's the thing. It was a manufacturing issue. We got it fixed, but we're not sure how many went out that way. But there was a burr on the trigger mechanism. And he said, if you take it apart, it's super noticeable. He said, you can take a file, some sandpaper, just about anything, and just polish that little burr off. He said, and they run fine. He said, that's the fix. He said, we'd appreciate it if maybe you'd think about putting out a video on how to do that. Like somebody could fix their own if they were experiencing an issue. So I thought it was really cool company I'm working with and being able to give me some insight, right, on type of content I need to put out with a product. That's always cool.
Yeah, and I think brands oftentimes they don't really want to suggest anything because they don't want to interfere with our creative process. But I wish more would kind of speak up and say, "Hey, here's an idea," because that's really what we bring to the table. Oftentimes, is they're busy doing their thing, running their business. They may have ideas, or people give them ideas. They just don't have the time, the resources, or the willpower to do it. Absolutely, let your creators know, and
just don't dictate what you want to see. But yeah, ideas are wonderful.
Yeah, when you say I want a positive review, I don't want you to compare it against this. Don't talk about this here. We want it to be this long. We want you to mention our website.
I'm probably going to talk about that. Yeah,
it's like holy crap. No,
Yep.
Yeah, if you give me a list of what not to say, you can pretty much guarantee that that's exactly what I'm going to talk about.
Right. Yep. That can definitely happen. Okay, AJ, do you have anything that you have your hands on that's coming soon that you know you're going to talk about soon?
All right, now I'm working on the Mantis Laser Academy. I have it set up right next to me, and a few times each day I pull out my H&K and practice up. So that should be coming out soon. Also picked up an Elite Survival Systems shooter's belt at SHOT Show. Okay. I'll be reviewing that along with some ironclad tactical gloves.
Nice. All right, we'll look forward to seeing those. Parting thoughts from anyone before we go ahead and shut this down? I mean, this is we at one point we said this was going to be a 30-minute show. Not today, but I mean this week at Gear Report. That we blew that out of the water. We've given up on that. We're on episode 95. I think at about episode 20 or so, it was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. It's going to run at least an hour. But
that just means the advertisers get what they pay for.
Yeah, even if Right Ton Optics had no idea that they were.
Yeah, he wasn't here for that conversation, so he doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. That was funny. And I've got an offer from another brand. Hey, we want to sponsor something. Like they don't even care what it is. Like we love what you do. We want to sponsor something. So I got to figure out what I want them to sponsor. If Right Ton wants to continue sponsoring this show, then I will give them the opportunity to be a sponsor of this, and we'll find something else for the other brand to sponsor. But yeah. Anyhow, so there is an Oklahoma Full Auto Shoot and Trade Show this summer, it looks like. So if anyone's out there, and it'd take a lot to get me to go to Oklahoma, I'll be honest.
It's only a few hours for me, so yeah, I'll probably try to go if I can.
I think TJ would agree. You definitely got to make Tulsa at least one time in your life, Jeff. It's so much fun and it's such an experience. You would enjoy it. I know you would.
Yeah. I hope so. And
because there's a lot of surplus stuff there also that I think you get a kick out of.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, yeah, and I love that stuff. Hopefully, the flights will remain cheap, because, like this time for SHOT Show, a couple years ago, boy, we had a couple guys on the Gear Report team that couldn't decide if they were going, and we kept waiting to book. By the time we booked, it was expensive. I think it cost me over $1,000 for the trip that time. This time, I think we did everything because we didn't get a car. We did use Lyft or Uber a few times, but I think like my personal share of the trip with flight and parking and everything was under $500. So it was very doable for SHOT Show. If I can pull off a similar budget, in the $300-400 to do Tulsa next year, then I may consider doing that.
Well, the good thing is you won't need a vehicle because there's plenty of us that have vehicles there. So I mean, nice. Just get there and we got you covered.
Well, we weren't, and you're talking about two people, right, and driving, and we were, maybe $1,000-1,200, and you got to remember, I got Instagram post. I bought a couple of shirts. We went to Walmart, I don't know how many times, and bought this and bought that. And, I was really surprised once we got back home and the dust settled with all the authorizations and other things. And we stayed 2 nights coming back at places. Wow. So, yeah, SHOT Show, for those people out there that are like, oh, it's just not in the cards, it's so horrible. SHOT is a lot easier of a show to make than you think it is cost-wise.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've told people at Gear Report for years, if you go to SHOT Show as part of the Gear Report team, we do shoestring budget to the extent that we can. Yeah. You should most years be able to pull it off for $500. If you go buy one pistol, that's $500. So if you can secure one gun that's worth $500 over the course of that week at SHOT Show, you get a brand to send you one for review. You basically bought a gun and you got a free trip to SHOT Show out of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like that's hard to not do,
Yep.
All right, peoples. I think Crystal is here and commenting now, but we also heard that she's been at the bar all evening. So
she also needed a ride home, so take that for what it's worth.
Right. So that is probably the cue that we need to shut things down before the comments get a little too lively. So I would like to say thank you to TJ, to Ghost, to Clover, to AJ. Thanks everyone for being here. We had some pretty good lively chat this afternoon or evening, whatever you want to call this. Thanks everyone. That's what I'm going to say. And thanks for all the folks who came together to make it the best SHOT Show that we have had ever for the Gear Report team, I think. Stop. Crystal, that's what I said. We're about to stop. See? We're on the same page here. We are about to stop. And thank you for making me know that was a good decision. So with that, we're going to go ahead and shut her down. Thanks again to everyone. Until next time, we'll see you at the range.